Hey, it's pasthisprime here, and welcome back to Homeseek, where we're continuing our playthrough of the survival mode. And we are in, well, we're doing part 1 survival mode. I'm at this stage, I'm still assuming that part 1 and part 2 are independent survival modes, because that's the way it looks from the front page, the menu. But we won't know for sure until we get there, but that's what I'm assuming. And we're in chapter 1. So early days. I think we're in chapter 1. Yeah, we are. Okay, so we've got too many people here at the moment, but we're going to send them on an expedition if we haven't already. Maybe we already did. Did I already queue up an expedition? Let's see. It should trigger soon enough if we did. No, clearly I didn't. Okay. Why would I have done that? Maybe just because we're running out of people? Don't know. Well, we should definitely do it then. Let's go. Okay, right, so we've been to all of those. It's a bit different when you play the second time. It's sort of like, well, which one do you want to go to? And it's like, what do you get from each of them? And some of them I can't remember. Let's go to the Science Museum. I reckon I would have done all the ones on the left last time first and then moved over, but alright, so we're still a bit low on the water, but we are researching the water distribution, which is what I'm hoping is going to save the day. Because I don't think there's much else I can do. Oh, I hate it when you get to 97% and the day ends. It's so annoying. We must have 2 people healed up. Now these wells... Well? We only get 1? I think we do. It will run out at some point. No, we got 2. Okay. They will run out though. That's guaranteed. Unless we finish the chapter. Alright, a great hall of some kind with tall ceilings and expansive open indoor areas. Long ago, knowledge about the natural world was displayed for all to see, though seemingly not for any specific purpose other than recreation. Nature was just Nature was just entertainment for them. They took it all for granted. We can only hope to learn from their mistakes. We carefully step past the broken glass of the entrance and see first a small room near the entryway labelled with a sign reading gift shop. It's completely ransacked, save for a small box in one corner. The words special gift are scrawled sloppily on the wall above. What should we do? Have someone open the box. And it could be a bomb. Kaboom. I can't remember. We have had that before. Ah, and this was one of them. Immediately after the lid is lifted, something inside the box explodes, killing the expeditioner sent to inspect it and injuring others. Well, there you go. I predicted it, but didn't know for sure. Continuing further, we soon hear the echoes of voices coming from deeper within the museum. We approach carefully at first, but soon come upon an unthreatening band of survivors who have set up an encampment inside the museum's halls. Some of them are injured, and they explain that they fought off a gang of bandits not too long ago. What should we do? Offer to have them join our community. Obviously. Okay, we explained to the survivors that they're welcome to join us. The survivors happily agreed to join our community, provided we care for their necessities. 6 extra people. Finally making it through most of the museum, we come to a courtyard outdoors. The fresh air is nice, though unusually humid. We notice that a single oddly shaped cloth tower in the middle of the courtyard seems to be saturated with moisture. A plaque nearby explains the science of collecting water from the air. We spend some time studying the Waka Tower. The old Waka Tower. Okay. Let's have a look now. So we could... well, we haven't done the efficiencies on these, have we? Hang on, but what else have we got that's not researched? We haven't improved our medical. We haven't done the community center. That is pretty good. I think, like I said in the last one, it's going to be really good to get some of these bonuses and then not have to do them again each chapter. Alright, so we are going to build that, and I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to link you to you. Only the good plumbing is allowed. How come that's down? Have we got some people sick or something? We got too many people? Now we've got all good plumbing on these, don't we? Oh. Another group of survivors arrives at our encampment wanting to join our community. They tell us that a group of vicious bandits raided their camp and destroyed everything. Fortunately, they managed to flee, and after wandering for some time, nearly starving, they spotted the smoke rising from the fires of our settlement. These travellers are unwelcome in our settlement, however we should demand that they pay a toll before we permit them onwards. Yeah, we're not like that. Unfortunately, we just can't support a community any larger than our own right now. We might get to that point. I mean, we could already be at that point right now, but we are going to accept them in. Okay, so we can do the Waka now. Oh, we haven't done the farm yet either. Okay. Yeah, we could always use more clean water. Maybe constructing something like this back home could help us in that regard. We can now research the Waka Tower. Good stuff. Now we have 8 people. They would love to come back. That's the thing. And we probably should, since we've got 8. Okay, now hold on a second. We've got... Oh, God. 'God. 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 ' We're going to almost need 2 houses when that other bunch comes back. We've already got the 10. So hang on, we could get another 2 in there. We've got 5. What is it? I don't understand the math here. We've got 8 over, yet 2 could be in there. That should be 50, not 48. This still does not add up. I think I said that in another video, it didn't add up. And it still doesn't. Is this empty? Hang on a second. What are you doing? Get more food. Ooh, we are gonna be in trouble. All right, we haven't got the food distribution and we haven't got the farm. I'm going to switch that over to farm. Because once these berries are gone, we are stuffed. Yep, that didn't help. I mean, it would have, but it doesn't help now. Our water extractors are rapidly depleting the 2 shallow wells. A pall descends over our settlement as everyone truly begins to understand the urgency of our situation. Until we find some new source of water, all we have left to drink are our rapidly dwindling reserves, already extracted from the ground. When they run out, we will quickly die from dehydration. As we become familiar with the confines of the valley where we have settled, it becomes clearer that it is almost devoid of valuable resources other than those which have already begun to harvest. In the interest of our long-term survival, we should try to find a way out of the valley so that we might be able to search elsewhere for new sources of drinking water. Well, that is what we're doing. A wave of depression washes over our community. The settlement that our efforts seem hopeless and that the world is too dead to save seems to spread from one survivor to another. There doesn't seem to be any specific cause other than the obvious desolation of our environment. But it seems clear that the tiny size of the rations we distribute each day doesn't help. I can't make you... No. I can't afford that, guys. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to be less happy. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Right, our expedition is back. And we need to send them out in a way, we could probably skip some of the expeditions and just go, why are we short of people in there for a start? Yeah, jump straight to whatever we have to find. Which is over here. But do we just unlock it by doing one of these two? Can't remember. I mean, I would still like to do the lot. But the thing is, you could unlock some other stuff later. In another chapter, I would assume. We technically don't have to find everything. Why is food still going in there? That doesn't make any sense. That should not have increased. Unless they put it in there when the expeditioners came back. Why doesn't it go to 0? I've noticed that before. It's like there's a number, it just will not go lower than. It's like, okay, well, has everybody eaten? Maybe they have. Got 3 people sick, but we do have... I have 2 of these. I forgot I built 2 of those. Okay, so there's nothing else. Okay, that's 1 scrap down. We're down to our final food pile. If the situation is not handled soon, we will starve. Things escalate when someone is caught stealing supplies. We search the man's bed and find he has been storing nuts under his mattress. He's weak, but an example must be made to prevent this sort of thing happening. Alright, forgive him. We show compassion, though some will complain that they deserve his food more than he does. Putting down roots, quest will commence. Or, with the extra rations, there will be more to go around, but the man vows he will throw himself from a rock rather than starve to death. Putting down roots, quest will commence. I'm taking the rations, I'm sorry. He literally killed himself. Good on him. Yeah, good on you, mate. It's clear that berries and nuts are not enough to sustain our growing society. We can't always rely on nature to provide for us. It's time to take matters into our own hands and learn how to farm. That was the plan. There you go, we've learned how to farm. Now, again, do we unlock everything? Let's go back to the community center before we make the improvements. It's a bit of a... I mean, we really should improve our water. Because we're going to need it for our food for a start. They put food in here again. Guys, stop putting freaking food in there. Now that doesn't cover that. Okay, so here's the problem. You need to take water from here to the farm. and then you need a food storage. Yeah, that's automatic. It's going to kill our water supply. Now, I want to put an extra person in there. Let's get more water going. Okay, well, we did that. Okay, that gives us a positive. Evacuation center. Civilization entered frightened swaths of the displaced gathered here, fleeing the collapse, hoping to be transferred someplace safer. They had no way of knowing there would be nowhere to flee, no place on Earth would be untouched by the destruction. First level of the courtyard before the evacuation center is covered in barbed wire, steel spikes and large metal sheets arranged like palisades. We gather that frightened citizens of the old world gathered here for safety when everything began to fall apart. The skeletons that litter the courtyard now tell us they were wrong to trust these refuges' safety. What should we do? Clear a path through the fortifications straight ahead. Look for a detour around the fortifications that might be less dangerous. Let's go straight through. Probably a wrong choice, but we're gonna do it anyway. And there it is. We dismantled some of the old rusted fortifications and push ahead. The barbed wire and sharp metal cut some of our arms and legs, but we managed to gain some scrap from what we broke down. Inner chambers of the evacuation center are poorly lit and dank, but we find a central gathering area filled with skeletons through which the sun still illuminates. Crates we find to be filled with sealed rations and old world bottled water lined the walls. All in seemingly good condition. What should we do? Something other than starvation or dehydration killed all these people. Could it have been something in their food or water? We unpack the rations and add them to our supplies. Yeah, sure, let's just take it. We might regret it, but... Did we? Dozens of airborne poisons might have swept through this place before then and now. The supplies are probably safe. We were right to trust our instincts. Even if the supplies seem suspicious, this food and water is a great boon for us. We come across a final room towards the back of the safe house complex. Skeletons lie splayed over half-open books, charts and pamphlets. Examining one of the papers, we find it reads Surviving Chemical Weapons Attacks, and the others seem to be along similar lines. We spend some time studying the pamphlets and charts. Okay, we doubt that we will ever be attacked by such weapons during our lifetimes, but we are given some ideas by the general guidelines for preserving the safety of a large group of survivors. We have discovered the law bed buddies. Expeditioners will spend 25 less scrap for building their shelters. Well, that's nice. You can now vote for that. Well, of course you can. Not that we can do anything with it. We have a ton of supplies. Well, definitely scrap. Let's continue on to the old trailer park. Okay, how are we going? Still, water's no good. Okay, can I... I'm gonna kill this thing. I'm sick of it sitting there. We got that food distribution there. We can't do much with. We've got enough food. Just don't have enough clean water. But we got extra unclean water, so hopefully that means that people will still survive. Trailer park. Whether this was a resort or if people chose to live here, it must have been a strange little community. Time and the elements have decayed most of what we find. The trailers resemble oversized versions of the rusted tin cans we might find in our scrap piles. If it wasn't for the trailer park sign, we might easily assume we'd walked into a giant scrap heap. The strange rusted cabins that once housed families look far from inviting. A voice tells us to freeze and we see an old haggard face staring at us from a small hatch in one of the trailers. What should we do? Do as the man says. Refuse and continue to approach. Carefully retreat the way we came. Just do as the man says. We'll see what comes. We stop and quickly ask why. He tells us that the trailer park is a maze of traps. We'll only make it out by listening to him. Haven't we already done this? Did we do this like just recently in another video and it's just like I've done this so many times I just can't stop remembering it? He says we are trespassing. We should lay a tribute before us and he will tell us which trailer to exit through. Okay, we haven't got any food and water, so he can have scrap. We slowly lay down some scrap. He examines it and tells us to leave through the caravan on the right. A tripwire inside triggers another homemade explosive, killing one of our party. With ringing ears, we stagger into the daylight. Well, he wasn't happy with our scrap, that's for sure. We find the way around the back and surprise the man. He fires a shot but misses and then begs forgiveness. We shoot him, take his possessions, which include... Yeah, man, I've read this so recently, it's ridiculous. Dried meat, water and a few bottles of whiskey and the gun he tried to shoot us with. We slowly leave wary of traps. Was it one of these other ones? No, it must have been like the last chapter of the chapter playthrough I did. Because it can't have been any of these. No, it can't have been that. No. No, we must have just had the trailer one in the last playthrough we did. And it's just so recent to me mentally that I just feel like I just did it last video. Unless it was last video and I just don't realise. Just when we think we're at the end of our rope, thin grey clouds gather over our settlement. We are at first cower from the rain as it begins to fall before realising the raindrops don't burn our skin at its touch. With this, we can stretch our drinking water reserves a little longer. Well, that's good. Why have we lost 2 people in our thing? Are they all getting sick? Yeah, there's a few people sick. Hang on. Let's drop that to the minimum. Let's push that up. I want that up. And then you can go back. No, actually, no you can't. Because I want the water. Okay, well that's great. Because I really didn't want these to run out. It's a dismal place. Couldn't have been a whole lot better back in the day, but it does teach us a little about communities and how folks used to live. We have discovered the law, get your buckets out. During rainfall, citizens will gather contaminated water. Well, now would be a good time for that, but we don't have it. All right, so these guys have only got water. They've got scrap, but no food. I'm sorry guys. I know last video or the one before that I said I was going to be nice to people, expeditioners, because I've always mistreated them. Clearly I lied. Or changed my mind. Whatever. Because now I'm torturing them again. Come on, research. Alright, there's the research. Oops. Okay, what did we just do? Community center. Like I said, do we unlock or do we make improvements? I think we make improvements. Because we barely use the waka. Okay, let's upgrade that one. We need to get some laws voted. Okay, let's pause for a second here. Alright, let's get that down because we've got a lot of scrap coming in, so... Alright, what are we going to do? Well, let's go with that one first, I guess. Since it's raining now. Man, we've got so many people here. Oh, that's because the food just ran out. Oops. Okay, we need food distribution or something. Alright, amusement park. No one knows what purpose this place held in the old world. Tall towers of wood and steel hold up tracks that lead nowhere. Statues of animals stand frozen on strange platforms. It was clearly once bright and colourful, but now all these colours have faded almost beyond recognition. Before we reach the ruin of the old amusement park, an ominous dark cloud appears over the horizon. The wind picks up and the cloud quickly grows, and before long a solid wall of dark brown is coming directly toward us. We all know what this means. A dust storm soon will be upon us. What should we do? Use some of our scrap to construct some makeshift shelters. We'll just have to hunker down in the nearest ditch. We can't afford to waste time. No, we're going to do the scrap. Okay, we are really down on this water now. And we haven't even got the food. So that'll be voted on. And then we can get that voting. We'll go. Application is more important. Oh, 97% again. God damn. We quickly try to construct some shelters with our scrap. The storm buffets our senses and makes it difficult to breathe for what seem like hours, but our shelters allow us to emerge relatively unscathed. When we finally reach the amusement park, we are quick to notice some strange graffiti marking many of its still standing structures. Violent and obscene images and warnings like "Turn back" and "Our land" are scrawled everywhere. We can even hear the sound of harsh voices coming from deep within. What should we do? This seems dangerous. Let's cut our losses and turn back. We've come too far to turn back. Get ready for a fight. Yeah, let's go for a fight. We press further into the heart of the amusement park before suddenly encountering a gang of bandits. Okay, we fight with the bandits. We eventually manage to drive them off, but not before sustaining some serious injuries. After dressing our wounds, we're free to search the park. There's little to salvage except for the wreck of a food truck parked in an open area. It's clearly well designed for preparing food despite its various size and resource constraints. Something like this might serve us well when it comes to addressing our own food needs. We spend some time studying the amusement park's food preparation and distribution system. We're going to get the food distribution, which we need. Well, we'll have to research it first, but yeah, these numbers are not good. And now the rain stopped. Yep. Keeping everyone as well fed as possible is one of our top priorities. Maybe we can find some way to apply these techniques to our own community. We can now research the food distribution center. Alright, you guys come back. We'll get this last 3% knocked off, and then that's pretty much perfect timing. As we run out of food and people starve. I don't know how you can still have 44 left in here. Okay, that's improved. You could improve the farm, but let's do that instead, because that actually helps with berries as well going forward. Hang on a second. That's not going to help the situation. Neither is that. Oh, that's almost gone. Oh, and there it goes. That's not far off going either. As we toil away, a citizen reports seeing an armed wastelander prowling the outskirts of our camp. We managed to chase him off, but anxiety and doubt still spread among us regarding the new potential threat to burden our already overburdened lives. Okay, let's apply that. Haven't got any other laws right now. Okay, died of water contamination. That'll happen. A survivor alerts the encampment that our water reserves have sprung a leak. It's only natural that our makeshift tanks will fail from time to time, but we find odd scrapes and dents that are evident in the tank near the source of the leak. Some of us can't help but think that sabotage might be involved. Suspicion creeps in and mistrustful glances are thrown when anyone lingers too long near the water storage. Well, we didn't have any water to lose, did we? Hang on. We are running out of scrap. They just might take the last little bit of food in here. And again, we just mistime the bloody research every time. Oh, the expeditioners are back. Okay. This is going to be painful, guys. Let's let him leave first. So are we going to go into the next chapter with 50 people potentially? Wow. We might get to a point where we have to let people die because we just can't cope. I mean, look at it now. And other than research, there's actually nothing I can legitimately do right now. Well, it says we're making enough food now. How did that happen? Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, so the only thing we don't have is the waka. Let's go for the efficiency of the farm. Are we out of scrap, are we? Please keep the research going. Keep the water going. Okay, let's have a look at the food for a second. Drop that down. Try and help our water a little bit. Didn't help anywhere near enough. Okay, mansion. We've encountered huge buildings designed to help house thousands, but this is a large building seemingly for the purpose of one family. Such opulence strikes us as lavish. No amount of wealth could bring back the water, however. A reminder that we come from nothing and to nothing will return. The house must once have been a sight to behold, its wide marbled porch now crumbled and covered with drift sand. A statue of a horse stands in the courtyard watching us approach. The windows are shuttered and the door has been broken down and boarded up, suggesting it's being used as living quarters. What should we do? We've come this far. We should exercise caution, scout the perimeters of the mansion, and look for a subtler way in. Let's do that. Okay. Discover a small door partially covered with sand. Seemingly a safer option, we open the door and enter a kitchen area. One of us activates a tripwire on the floor and wooden block filled with sharp metal drops from the ceiling with a sickening crunch. The rest of the ground floor is mostly empty. There is a wide carpeted staircase leading up past a sagging chandelier. What should we do? Anything of value must surely be upstairs. Let's move up with caution. Yes, there's an old man up there. Already know that. I remember that one. We reached the top and there was an elderly man sitting in a chair, a shotgun leveled at our chests, his finger twitching on the trigger. He tells us to drop our weapons or he will fill us full of holes. We don't want to lose our weapons and the man has the drop on us, so we slowly back down the stairs. Back in the hallway, the man calls down. He tells us the house has a fallout bunker. He was born and raised here, but the rest of his family are dead. He's never wandered far from the house. He asks if we will take him with us. We spend some moments listening to the old man's stories. Okay, let's just check the town again. Make sure people are doing what I need them to do. Okay, efficiency farming is done. All right, let's increase the input. That could be causing a problem. I don't know. Now, I'm assuming... Yeah, I knew it. It's improved, but not improved enough. The rich, it seemed, could afford more than just luxury. How many more of these private bunkers must be scattered across the land? This man has only known the same world that we have, but his ancestors were wealthy. It reminds us of the inequality their obsolete money brought. Extra resource law slot. Well, we don't have any laws. Well, that sucks. Alright, these guys have got no food in that, but they left with nothing, so... Keep on trucking. Okay, day's over. Yeah, people are getting pretty depressed. I'm doing the best I can right now. It's not good enough, but... There's nothing else I can do. I mean, you could build another. Would that help? Building another one? I mean, it really depends whether 2 water wells is too much. I mean, we could try it. What's it going to hurt to try? Okay, so if I destroy that, wait, hang on. No, you need another water storage to do this. Hang on. I'll get this right. I mean, we could have connected that straight to there, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I probably didn't need that step. I probably could have left that connected to there, took another feed from there to there, but oh well. Okay. Alright, monument. While all else impertinent of the old world was washed away by the tides of catastrophe and then by time, monuments like these, built to their society's supposed greatness, still remain. Wasteful, purposeless works of expensive polished stone, built in dedication to the great achievements of their civilization. How ironic that they now stand alone among the cannibalized remains of that very world. The winds of the wasteland begin to pick up suddenly, and clouds of dust and sand quickly begin to obscure our vision. As we are fumbling in the darkness to don our protective rags and goggles, bandits appear all around us, weapons drawn. The bandits have a well-prepared ambush here. We need to flee as fast as possible, or fight the bandits in the storm. We're going to fight. The fighting is brutal and vicious in the confusion of the storm, but we eventually drive the bandits off. None of us have escaped unharmed though, and many of us have severe wounds. We come across a small tented encampment in the desert. A friendly seeming group of traders emerge from the camp as we approach, and we greet them amicably. Before seeing their merchandise, miserable looking human beings huddled together in iron shackles. What should we do? Oh, you're kidding me. We have no choice. Offer to trade our resources to buy the slaves? No? Alright, we've got to attack the disgusting slavers. It's all about fighting. Okay. We quickly draw our weapons and descend upon the slave merchants. They're well armed and clearly prepared for a fight, but we eventually kill every last one of them. The slaves seem somewhat wary of us even after we set them free. Some nonetheless express a desire to join our community. The monument is quite an unusual sight, standing alone as it is in the middle of the wasteland. Some of us who can read make out what is written on the monument. Vertical faces. Inscribed in the stone are a set of guidelines for creating a society that exists in harmony with nature. We spend some time studying the guidelines written on the monument. There's no point bringing these people back. I'm assuming this has to unlock the place. Yeah, people are now dehydrated. Okay. As we become familiar with the confines of the valley where we have settled, it becomes clearer that it is almost devoid of valuable resources other than those which have already begun to harvest. In the interest of our long-term survival, we should try to find a way out of the valley so that we might be able to search elsewhere for new sources of drinking water. It seems inevitable. Did I just read that? Seems inevitable that we will soon have to pack up what we can find and find a new place to settle down. To make a journey through the wasteland, though, we will need a sufficient number of healthy workers who will be able to convey our supplies across many miles. Find a new location to settle to, have at least 12 citizens that are not depressed or exhausted. Okay, we can now vote for eat some soup. Yeah, perhaps at least some of the old world understood the mistakes of their time. Perhaps we can improve our own society with their advice. We have discovered the law, eat some soup. Citizens' daily food needs are reduced by 10, but daily water needs are increased by 5. That's actually backwards to what we need. Off to the mountain pass you go. Now, just pause here for a minute. Let's have a looky at what we're doing. Okay, what are you... We're doing input to wetlands. Now that we've got the 2, I'm actually thinking that we might be better off with improving our water extractor. Yeah. I think that's the better option right now. I mean, if we had the waka, we could have been getting a little bit of water in with the waka, but... Oh, that's right. Community. Hang on. Let's vote for the old soup. Don't know if I'm going to apply it because it's actually not beneficial to us. But then if we reduce our food, I could reduce the amount of water that we feed to the farm. Just hang in, guys, a little bit longer. We'll get you there. The mountain pass. A distant wall of mountains loom in the distance, beyond which may lie new sources of vital food and water. Navigating the single narrow pass that winds between the otherwise impassable peaks will be difficult and dangerous, but with our dwindling supplies we must undertake the effort if we wish to survive much longer. As the column of our expedition makes its way up the mountain trail, we begin to hear a distant rumbling. The noise quickly grows louder before suddenly the great boulders of a rock slide are falling all around us. When the dust clears, it is apparent that many of us have been separated on the other side of the new rocky barrier. What should we do? It may take an extremely long time, but we need to try and clear the way in order to reunite with our fellow survivors. We'll die of thirst or starvation if we stay to try and save them. It feels horrible, but we have to leave them behind. No, just keep pushing. You can do it. I believe in you. Okay, the law's passed, but... Many of our fellow survivors have been injured by the rockfall, some severely, but at least we aren't leaving anyone behind. The trek through the mountains is extremely long and arduous, and after much forced marching, some of our expedition begin to protest. A small but significant minority express the desire to turn back, to find some other way back through the mountains and look for other sources of water back the way we came. What should we do? The map clearly indicates that our best chance of finding water lies on the other side of the mountains. They'll die of thirst if we allow them to break off and turn back. They are in charge of their own destiny, let them do as they please. No, push forward. Okay, so hang on. Somebody died. That's that. What? How come you can't? Because I'm dragging it to the wrong spot. All right, let's get that law in and we'll just see what happens. Okay, let's just check our numbers. If we can reduce that, it will help a lot. Okay, so production is increased. Alright, I'm gonna do the waka. If we do the waka before we finish this chapter, which may not happen, and it didn't.
World outside the bunker is unforgiving. At the constant mercy of the elements, we've barely scraped by. Our stomachs groan, our mouths are parched, and each day feels like it could be our last. And yet, despite these trials, we've persisted. The uncertainty of our existence is daunting. While we continue to draw breath, hope remains. Day by day, our will to survive grows stronger. Some of us are even beginning to believe we just might make it.
Okay, so that's the first chapter down. So we've got 11 locations explored, 6 buildings researched, 5 upgrades researched, 3 laws voted, 3 laws applied. 10 died, 54, 11 days survived. So 93% overall performance. So I assume if I go continue, we'll go to the next chapter. And we're going to do that in the next video. So let me know your thoughts, opinions in the comments. How am I going? Is there anything I am doing wrong that I should be doing better? Let me know. Or you think I'm on the right track with all of this? Let me know your thoughts, opinions on that. And you playing the game? Are you enjoying it? Love to hear your opinions on that as well. I read all the comments, answer every comment as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.